Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I forgot who I was there for a second, and I'm all about being real, so there you go. I'm excited about this topic this week because, man, I just think it's such an important thing, and I was so focused on that I couldn't remember my intro. So there you go. What I want to talk to you about is rescuing others. I can't rescue you. I'm not supposed to rescue you. We can't rescue others. We can give them a lift, but if they don't take the initiative, if they're not following or seeking themselves, you cannot rescue someone. I have been over and over this in my life, and it caused me so much pain trying to be the rescuer, trying to be the healer, it can make a person crazy. And it's not your job to live their journey. It's your job to live your journey. That's easier said than done. I get it. But what I want to point out is this is not just an intent. It can be a replaying loop that you learned of, in order to get my life in order, they have to be okay. Or in order for me to feel good, they have to feel good. I don't know that that's necessarily true, although it can affect us. There's no question. Everybody else's energy can affect us. But what I want to point out is, do you keep going back into rescue to save, and it makes you divert from your own life? I was a master at doing this. I was the youngest in my family, significantly younger than my siblings. And so I was always the support, the gopher, the here, will you help me? Here, I need your hand. Will you go get this? Will you go do that? And it wasn't an intentional, it wasn't anybody's fault, really. I was just kind of handy to be the gopher. But what did I learn? I learned to support, 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 support. This is not about being selfish, but if you are constantly in support, especially if it doesn't feel good, if it's become a pattern and you're doing it out of habit and it doesn't feel good to you, I would suggest to you that something is calling to you to change. And boy, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And I wish I had been able to have some guidance on that or learning about that when I was in my 20s, because it became a long-standing thing. Rescue, 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 which really kind of puts your life on hold. That's different than helping. That's different than the energetic exchange of giving and receiving. If you're outputting all the time, you are not in balance. It's a give and take kind of thing. There's an exchange of energy that has to happen. And I see so many people, clients especially, that have come to me and my own loop of trying to please them because their age, this reason, that reason, they've had it tough, they don't have anybody else. But there's a myriad of reasons why we get stuck in that loop. The reasons why we get stuck in it aren't as important as how do you change it. So I want to kind of do a little focused intent here about, I can't rescue you. I'm not supposed to rescue you. That's not my job. There's a difference between supporting and taking over. And I've done this more than a handful of times. I'm not happy to say, but I realized it became a real issue for me, and it kept replaying and it held me back. So why don't we do a little bit of tapping here just to kind of distinguish the difference in our energy between supporting and reciprocal helping, as opposed to being sucked in to try to rescue or fix someone else's life. It's a big deal for a lot of people. I know it is. So let's do some tapping. I'm going to assume you know how to tap. This can bring up emotion, so you're responsible for anything that you participate here. And if you don't know how to tap, you can go to my intro to tapping video that's also available. So first, take a deep breath. Settle into this thought. Am I rescuing? Am I always putting them before my gut reactions and what I feel? Do I help them regardless of how it's affecting me? Because that pattern will make you drowned. So take another deep breath. Okay, and let's start tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I have this pattern of rescuing, maybe I never even noticed it before. Maybe I felt like I was helping, giving. But is there an exchange of receiving? I'm ready to make a choice not to get depleted and to watch out for what I need as well. Because I want to love, honor, and respect my life. Even though I may have been a rescuer, trying to save them or fix them, when it's actually an inside job in their journey, I may suggest or try to help, but ultimately it's their internal emotional growth, and they need to find their way. And I need to find my best way to live my life. Because I want to love, honor, and respect my life and journey. Even though it has felt right to rescue them. But if it's been detrimental to me, it's not right for me. And I want to find the right balance in my life to keep me healthy and strong, and to be able to be in reciprocal relationships. Because I want to love, honor, and respect myself. Now go to the eyebrow and I'll just say shift at every point. This pattern of rescuing and trying to save them. Shift. I could never rescue you. Shift. I'm not supposed to rescue you. Shift. That's your internal job and journey. Shift. And I want to honor that. Shift. Your guidance doesn't need to come from me. Shift. It needs to come internally from yourself. Shift. I may have gotten confused about my role. Shift. I can help. Shift. I can try to encourage. Shift. But it's not my job to rescue you. Shift. I want to stay focused on how it feels for me. Shift. Because if I feel burdened or upset. Shift. Putting you before me always. Shift. Or I feel unsettled when I'm about to do something. Shift. That emotional discord is a sign. Shift. It's actually trying to say, pay attention here. Shift. I cannot save or rescue anyone. Shift. I can assist, but the rest is up to them. Shift. What if it would be okay for me to pay attention to my life? Shift. Or my reactions when going to help them. Shift. It's easy to get stuck in that replaying loop. Shift. This is not about being selfish. Shift. This is about having boundaries for my own life. Shift. And allowing you to have boundaries for your life. Shift. And allowing us both to listen to our internal guidance. Shift. And what if that's the best thing either of us can do? Now take a deep breath. You see what I was trying to say here? This is not about being selfish or not helping. This is more about if you are doing things for other people and it doesn't feel right, or you always feel like they're leaning too heavily on you and it's not a mutual opportunity to help each other build up or find the happy or find the joyful, when it's always a to-do and you're resenting it or you're feeling angry about it. Those are your indications it's not right for you. There's something out of balance there. Maybe the giving and receiving is not mutual. Maybe you have taken on a replaying loop that you didn't realize could be detrimental to you. When it comes from your heart and you're giving, that's one thing. But if you're resenting or you're feeling put upon or it's too much, you need to pay attention, because those emotions that are showing up, those hesitations that are showing up are trying to grab your attention to say, this is not right for you. And you cannot save someone else. You cannot get into their head and change their beliefs if they don't want to. You cannot get into their energy and change their energy if they don't want to. That's an internal job for each of us and our journey to figure out our path and our way. We might be able to share what's possible or tips or tools that we've learned, just like I'm trying to do here. But to save someone else, I think that's a higher power job and not necessarily something we're supposed to take on. Just in my opinion, you can take it for what it's worth. But for some people, this becomes a really ingrained detrimental pattern that can suck you dry and suck the life out of your life. So if it applies, tap along again, tap as many times as you need to. And if this was helpful or tips that you find enhancing to your life or awakening to some things that you've been doing that you didn't even realize, subscribe and follow along. And I wish you the best. Until our paths cross again, this is Joanne. Bye-bye for now.